So here I am, together with my dear engineer, Mr. Parat. Say hello. Hello, hello, hello. We're on the campus of KMUTNB, King Mongkut's University of Technology, North Bangkok, in the workshop of the Faculty of Engineering, where my dear colleague Ajahn Khem, Dr. Khemapat, has found a space for our monster. This is in the background. We lovingly call it the gigantic keyboard mount or keyboards support. If I come a bit closer, you will see that this will actually only work for very tall users, right? Not for dwarfs like me. So that is the main frame of the thing that we are starting to assemble today. There will be these gigantic wheels on the left and right, the purpose of which I should explain with a drawing. And you also see in the background there's a wall mount that will support the bogie model later on. And here on the floor we have some other parts waiting. And as you can see, very cute little wheel sets, railway wheel set for a quarter scale. If I'm not mistaken, it has been a few weeks now since we finished, or months even, since we finished the engineering design. So today is the big day. We're hoping that pretty soon our friends from the SCHAEFFLER company will come. That will be actually one of our students, one of the MESD students who is doing an internship there at the moment together with a technician. And we're asking them to help us with the assembly of this beautiful, where is it? This beautiful shaft right next to the Imperial Stormtrooper's helmet into this housing. And this is something that I've asked for help for because we have tight fits on the shaft. And it's an O arrangement, step bearing arrangement with 2 tapered roller bearings. I don't feel confident without proper tools and experience to assemble it without over tightening it, because pulling it off is close to impossible. So we'll see how that works today. So this is the bearing for the big shaft. Of course it looks very big on the screen now, but it's not that big. It's 40 millimeter shaft diameter. Tapered roller bearing, of course you can take it apart. So just take a look at the housing first. The plan was to have a very loose fit in the housing. Still, loose fit doesn't mean you can just throw it in, but this is where it goes on both sides. And here's all the other parts. FAG bearings, of course, right? Of course. Can I see your jacket? SCHAEFFLER. Yeah, now we're talking. So, can you introduce yourself, please?
Okay, my name is Anuch Leelasettakul from Thailand team. Field service engineer, SCHAEFFLER field service engineer from SCHAEFFLER Thailand. So
wonderful.
We have support for Dr. Alex. Yeah.
Right. Well,
for mounting the bearing.
SCHAEFFLER has been supporting us for many years already, and I'm very thankful that you are coming here today with our student. Come here. Can you introduce yourself too?
Hi, my name is Khemapat Tontiwattanakul. I'm studying at TGTS at King Mongkut University Technology, North Bangkok, and now I'm internship in the SCHAEFFLER Thailand.
Ah, very good. That was a good introduction. So you have a logo too, but it's not SCHAEFFLER?
No,
KMUTNB.
yes.
With your name on it. Fantastic. Okay, great. So we'll see how that works. We have a lot of equipment coming from SCHAEFFLER. We have a lot of equipment from ourselves, so we should be doing fine today. So we're just planning how to put it in. It's always very embarrassing if you assemble something the wrong way. So we decided our design here it's almost symmetrical, but one side has 2 adjustment options. So we decided we're going to put this side on this side, so it's easier to access the adjustability. So we were just talking about the assembly, and we have, of course, 2 tapered roller bearings for step bearing arrangement O-type. It's adjustable on one side with a groove nut. And this is going to be this side, right? Which is nice too, so you don't always knock your head when you adjust it, right? Because on the other side we have the frame there. And we were just talking about the best sequence of assembly. So the right bearing is leaning against the circlip on the shaft, and what can't be seen here is there's a Nilos seal. So you agree with me, we should first push the inner bearing ring onto the shaft from that side, because it's a tight fit, it's not easy to find the right position, so we'll probably push it a bit too far, then we put on the seal, then we put on the circlip, and then we probably have to try to push it back again. And then we continue here, we put the two outer bearing rings inside, right? Then we put the shaft in from the back side, and then the party starts. Because then while everything is in there already, we have to put on the other bearing from this side. Do you think you have to heat it up for that?
Just check a little bit. In this side of bearing, you can mount it with a mechanical force, but it's possible with a bearing, but it's not good for the shaft.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. But you're the expert, so I'm going to let you decide.
Decide first. But if the bearing is too small, the heating will is not possible. Because the small bearing cannot expand enough to fit on the shaft. So let me check it first.
So it's going to be exciting. See you later. So here's the beautiful shaft with a beautiful thread for the lock nut. Now, everything always goes wrong if it can go wrong. So we first should try if the thread actually fits our part. So Kun Kurakot is now giving it a try. Let's see if you learned something in your internship already. It's the wrong way around. So this funny chamfer has to be on the inside, because this is where the lock plate goes later on.
Washer.
Lock washer, lock plate.
With this chamfer.
So the thread is looking good, right? Yeah, it's looking like the thread fits.
All through the wear.
Okay.
If it's
Right to the end, just
Right
to
to
make
the
sure it really works. Otherwise, it's very embarrassing later on. Okay, so great. Leave it on. So of
Okay,
course, in real
tighten up.
life, we don't want to put it on that much. You see the groove there. This groove is for the locking plate, or what did you call it? Lock washer, right?
Lock washer.
So the professionals call it lock washer. I just call it a lock plate. You see, here it is. It has the latch on the inside. That will be in this groove.
In the groove.
So here it will be under it, and this is why we know that we can't tighten the nut as much as we put it on before. But this, hey, you can open this one too and put that one on, just to make sure we have the right parts. That looks good.
It has to go over.
It has to go over the thread, right? So I hope it's big enough. What's happening? That's a bit tight.
That's a bit tight,
but it's possible, I think. Squeeze.
I want to squeeze it.
So here
the groove is okay. The depth of the groove is good, but
the diameter of the thread outside is a bit. Oh, you mean the width?
The width.
That's no problem. We have a file. We just make the lock plate a bit. We work on the lock plate a bit. That's of course. Well, we did all according to Tabellenbuch Metall, didn't we?
Yes.
Of course, right? Yes. But in real life, everything is too tight. Let's see. So we already let the file work on this one. Now we can slip the lock washer down the groove. We did everything according to the, as I said, Tabellenbuch, but still. There you go. Thank you. So I think by now you can tell that we're all really scared of pushing a bearing over a shaft with a tight fit. normally you can heat up the bearing to make it a bit bigger, and this works well with bigger bearings, but they say that with the smaller bearings, anything smaller than 50 shaft diameter, it will not really work. So this is why we're using other special tools. What is this called, sir?
Fitting tool.
Fitting tube, right? Because that makes sense. We prepared one for ourselves because this is a 1.5 inch PVC, right? that also works, but of course PVC is not very sturdy. So this is the professional kit that the professionals use. Okay.
So here's that. It's actual inner diameter of the bearing.
Yeah. So even with the tolerances, no, or is it? It can be a bit bigger, right? Like
a little bit bigger, so it's not touch the shaft, right?
Right.
All the way through.
Okay.
And the outside is the same of the outer diameter of the bearing.
Oh yeah, wonderful.
So you can fit the outer ring. It's also the loose fit, right? But it's not just like put it on. We just hit a little bit.
But for now, we'll just put in the inner ring.
Yeah.
And of course, the inner ring can't be separated from the rollers, which makes me nervous too, right? Something more that can break. So here's the inner ring again. Okay, so let's see. There you go. This is
the side.
Yeah.
The diameter.
There you go.
Okay. And also you can fit the outer ring into the housing.
Okay, one fits all.
Yes.
Wonderful. Let's do that later. The outer ring doesn't scare me. So we're just talking about putting some grease on the shaft, but you have something better, right?
So this is called mounting paste. Okay, it's lubricate the shaft like the oil, like the grease. But another thing that it will help is preventing the fretting corrosion.
That sounds.
It's some kind of failure.
That sounds.
To the bearing.
Yeah, we know about fretting corrosion, but I'm wondering how can grease do that? Sounds like some magic from TV advertising. Okay, we'll see. I'll disassemble it in 15 years and check. Okay. So
the bearing will sit around here.
Yeah, the bearing is under that.
Just slightly. Not that much.
Also put some before, like over the. Yeah, because this is where we have to slip over, right?
At the sitting area.
Yeah, right. Because all this has the same tolerance. Probably.
Just a little more.
So this is where it can get very embarrassing, right? This is O-type, right? So
if you put
that would be a big mistake for O-type. That would be nice for X-type. Yes, this is how we want to do it, right?
The other ring will go like this.
Right. The other ring in the housing will be like this, right? Exactly.
But the other ring will go with the housing.
We'll put that in the housing later on, right?
So this will go like this. But this has to be careful because we don't have a shaft shoulder to go all the way through.
Right.
Go all the way at the end. So just a little bit.
No shoulder on the shaft, so we just want to get it past the groove for the circlet. I think you can see that.
Just a little bit of phosphorus. Great. It's going down, right?
It's going down.
Going down already.
I was having nightmares about this for many months. Moving much better than.
And you thought, right?
Yeah. So now this is a design flaw. At the moment we cannot tell where we are. We have to wait until the circlip groove comes out on the other side again. So let's check. Let's have a visual check if we can see the groove already.
Not yet.
Not yet. Thor and his hammer.
Sure. Okay, we can see, but not the second shoulder.
Yeah, not
We
quite.
can see the groove, but not all the groove area.
So just a little nudge. We just needed to go past that groove. Just
It's
enough
okay.
for the Nilos, which is around 0.5 millimeter. So here's the Nilos. Beautiful thing. Fantastic technology. And I suggest if we can already fit the circlip, then we're happy for now. Okay, let's try the circlip. So before we put the seal on, I suggested we should already fill the seal with grease. Now, obviously we don't have the perfect grease, right? Perfect grease will be the original SCHAEFFLER grease that SCHAEFFLER put into the bearing, but we don't have that. But this one is good enough. This is my home workshop standard grease.
Yeah, but in this situation, it's not the main grease that will lubricate the bearing. So we just put slightly grease at the seal.
Okay.
Okay.
Go
Not
ahead.
All the way the bearing.
You're the grease master. Go ahead.
Okay.
So we just heard some inside knowledge about flushing direction, right? So these bearings will actually kind of wash or pump the grease to the outside against our seals, which is not so bad. Well, for now, because we don't have a lubricating nipple in this design, just put as much grease as possible in there, even if it doesn't look very nice. And we're using SCHAEFFLER specified grease spoons in there, which we just got from the coffee shop. They're highly standardized, so they're available everywhere.
ไม่มีทางจะไหลลงมาได้เนี่ย
So it has already grease on the seal. And we can drop the seal. Now the circlip. Where's your special tool? One of these guys goes on now. Here. Our BMW expert from Nonthaburi brought his own tools. This is how proper engineering works. Everybody brings their tools from home.
Staying off cap. Okay.
Snap! I heard it snap. We're there already. Congratulations. Yeah, we'll probably push it back a bit when we tighten the groove nut later. That's fine. Step one accomplished.
Same, right? The outer ring look the same. The bearing number look the same, but you have to pair it up with themselves, with the original one.
So we're about to
switch
put
it up.
in the outer ring in the housing, and we just got a warning. We shouldn't confuse the two outer rings of the two bearings.
Because we have the sorting process. The bearing side, the rolling element is not perfectly the same size, but it's in the micron, very, very small.
Right.
Okay, so
They're
we
matched.
sourcing it first and match the bearing to be one pair of bearing.
Okay, so where's this thing gonna go? This thing must go on this side then, otherwise we will have confused it. Come in here. You wanna put...
Transition fit or slightly loose fit.
It's a
but-
loose fit, yeah.
But for sure the loose fit is not that loose that you can put by your
Right.
hand.
You have to
So
come...
you can see it.
You cannot throw it from 1 meter distance, right? You actually have to come close to it.
It's on this mounting paste
Some-
again.
Mounting.
Okay. Alright.
Now knock off his glasses with a hammer.
It's not too sad. Just a little bit.
So this is the so-called loose fit. In mechanical engineering, a loose fit means you can push it in with only slight force.
Just go away at the end to the shoulder.
And this one has a shoulder.
Go through the way จนสุดเลยข้างในมันมีบ่ายัน and you can feel the sound, right?
You can even hear that it's hitting the shoulder. There you go.
Everything at the shoulder. Okay. I think the same way.
Number 2. We got it in the right way? Yes.
For
yes.
sure. Not like this. The bearing, but on the bottom side of the tube,
Yeah.
you put all the
Some extra grease storage.
like a twist roller, and you will use it now when you insert the shaft, right? The shaft can hit the bottom part of the tube, of the frame.
So here's the next critical situation. Because we have to push the shaft in with one bearing from the side. So there's a good chance you can damage. For example, you could damage the race with this. If you hit it, that would be bad. Or you could damage the rollers. So have to be very careful now. Careful, don't touch the race. Okay, that was good so far. Good so far. Good so far. Okay, now we're almost safe. Very good. Of course, now the problem is when we mount this, it will have to be struck with a hammer again, and all this hammering force has to be supported by Khemapat here. So, what body part will you use to support the hammering force against the shaft? Just a finger, because you had a good breakfast, right? So normally I would expect this to go easily over the thread, and now it does.
Okay, and here's
That's not too bad.
the tie fit part, so we have to use the mounting tool and the hammer.
Okay, now this is the other bit which made me sleep bad. So you see on the right hand side, trying to support the shaft, not with the body part. I thought you wanted to support that with your forehead. No.
But not a preload. But
Yeah. Wow.
it stick with the already stick with the grease.
Right.
So
So we can't feel any axial play anymore. So it's already
But it's-
both bearings are already hitting each other, but no
just
preload.
slightly for, but if you have to get the preload, we don't do it with the hammer.
Yeah.
With the lock nut. Right?
Yeah, we do it with a lock nut.
This is enough for now.
Wow! Oh, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Now I can go to sleep again.
So just turn a little bit to flush the grease.
Putting on the seal. Yeah, it will be pushed against it.
Also
Now the lock washer.
the lock washer and the lock nut. Also, you would like the preload, right? The lock washer, almost every time it got you a preload because you have to select the right column.
right.
And you have to tighten up
Right.
again to select the right
Yeah.
column, so it will make the preload
Right.
situation.
So here you see the lock plate has many latches on the outside, but the lock nut only has 4. That means when you found your perfect tightening, it will never fit. So you
Like
typically, statistically, you have to tighten the nut a bit more
Tighten.
until one latch fits the position of one of the 4 grooves. This
fold it up.
is what you meant. So in effect, you always have a little bit more preload than you bargained for. So let's put that on now. So again, 50-50 chance. No, you have to find out. You have to find out how to put it on. Otherwise, let's see. Okay, right. You helped her. Okay, there you go. Right? See so actually this design is a bit confusing. So this is just for a feather key, but this is the groove for the latch of the lock washer. So that's nice. And then the lock nut or groove nut has this chamfer on one side, which matches the angle of these latches on the lock plate. So it always reminds you which way to put it on. And then keep in mind, later on, after you carefully adjusted it, one of the outer latches will be bent down into.
But พี่หนุ่มต้องจับฝั่งนี้ป่ะ
Yeah, you cannot range it up now because you have to lock the shaft not to rotate.
Right.
You cannot let the shaft to rotate. So
This is a problem. See, when you're trying to tighten the nut, of course, the only thing that will happen is that the whole shaft will rotate. And this is, actually we might be able to do that with, when we put on one of these guys with a feather key, then it will be much easier to hold it. Understand?
Yes.
Khemapat.
Yes.
Do we have the feather keys here?
but the key is not here.
The feather key is in my office. At this point we took a little break. I fetched the feather key and we assembled one of the hubs we had onto the shaft with a feather key, so we would have the grip to counterbalance the tightening torque. You will see the feather key under the groove nut in the next clip because we didn't quite push the hub all the way up. So normally it's not exposed, as you probably know, but in this case it's quite educational. You can see it. So in our case, it's not easy to make an absolutely accurate measuring, but at the moment it feels like it's already tightened to have 0 axial play. But we want a little bit of pre-tension, so we decided very loosely that we'll just tighten the groove nut a wee bit more until this groove matches this latch. And we don't know what it means in absolute terms. We call it just a hair of pre-tension, right? Is that correct? That's the technical term. By the way, Ajahn Kem joined us. Sawadee Krap. Okay, so this time it's my honor to apply the tool. And we put this guy on because otherwise we cannot balance the torque, right?
the rotation.
So Ajahn Kem, do me the honor and film me while I try to break the machine. Sure. Okay, so hang on. Yeah, this is the one. So we try to tighten this a bit. Okay, applying torque. Very good. Applying torque. We're closer. I'm hitting it with my wedding ring. Applying torque now. Oh, we're practically there. If I do more, I will go too far.
Yeah.
Right? Just a hair.
A little more.
Okay. Now just the hair of a hair. Applying torque.
Okay.
I don't see a difference.
Yeah.
Just a little more.
Okay. No, that's not enough.
No.
Okay. I use my hand. It's the.
It's moved.
Did it
Already
move?
moved. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's straight.
So detail, go in here. Now we see, because this is an educational video, right? So now you see, dear students, that we can bend this ledge down into this groove. If you look at all the other combinations, they will not match. And this is the great design. There's an uneven number or odd number of ledges, so you get as many possible or fine positioning here, because you don't want to adjust it to have a specific tension and then disadjust it just to find the position. So here we are. This one will now be bent down. So to bend down the ledge, in the lecture I always say it's a screwdriver, but of course it's not a screwdriver. This is a specific SCHAEFFLER specification lock washer down bender. It can only be used with an FAG hammer. You see that? Ah. Oh, out of focus. Hang on. Is it down?
Yeah. Yeah, this is enough.
This is it. Now this specific ledge bender this is very expensive, right? It's hardened steel. You can only get it through certified FAG dealers. There you go. So the second part, our quarter scale wheel sets. This is standard gauge, or a quarter of standard gauge. Everything scaled down. So instead of the typical or normal roller bearing on each side, we have pairs of tapered roller bearings. So, can't show you the bearings at the moment, but here are the little boxes with them. Just finding the mounting tools over there, and already applying grease. So, even with professional equipment, we ran into a problem that the professional fastening tool is too big to actually push it from the small side. So we were lucky to find something in the storage here, and we're hoping it will not explode.
So we don't have to insert rod to the cage, the bearing cage.
Yeah.
We need to insert rod only to the ring.
And the tool is running away already.
So a little slide rod.
Let's see.
And first thing, we have to hit only the tool, not the tool.
Not the fingers.
I will try that.
That's so small.
Very small. Like that. Let's cut further to this side. It's getting in.
Wow.
Further.
Outer ring assembly not as fun as it should be. We guess the zinc plating has made the fit much tighter than originally planned. But this seems to be okay now, right?
Yep.
Okay.
All the way to the shoulder.
It's quite a drama to put all the parts together. Oh no, we might have to hammer again. Yeah.
See, there's still the clear line.
Yeah. You want to do the rest with the screw? No. Okay.
Just a little bit.
Yes.
Here. And we will tighten it up by the lock nut.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with all these operations we were careful always to mate the outer bearing rings with the inner bearing rings and the roller sets, because we have 4 of them and we're trying to save time by assembling on both sides simultaneously. There's quite a high risk of confusion.
I know. So where are we?
So this is of course different from the real train, because here we're basically assembling the suspension around the wheel set. That is not the normal way.
Yeah.
So our expert finds this is tightened just the right amount, and I agree. I cannot feel any motion with this long lever and not too much friction either. So now we can lock it if there's any latch missing. Do you see one? The top one fits? Oh yeah, lucky.
Okay.
Don't forget to use only certified SCHAEFFLER screwdrivers for this job. So this is the end of the assembly activities with regards to the bearings. Thanks to SCHAEFFLER again. As the final clip, I would like to show you something I recorded weeks later when we finalized the complete assembly. So what you're seeing now is the assembled model of this bogie, quarter scale bogie, running on the 2 track wheels which replace wheel tracks. And as the electrical wiring of the motor wasn't finished that day, we have poor Pirat turning on the big wheels instead. But I think it's enough to demonstrate what all of this is about. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again. I can see you now.